Thank you all for being here. It's such a treat to have you in person. We hear you a lot virtually, so it's great to really see you here. When China started hitting its economic boom initially, there was a lot of thoughts about, as the market expands, it'll have sort of a democratic turn. Obviously, that's not what happened. Now there's some projections of, as this exponential growth slows, that sort of this popular dissatisfaction will arise with sort of expectations being lowered of economic performance and the government being unable to deliver on a lot of its promises. Sort of how do you foresee this in the future as sort of the government reacting to this, the people reacting to this? I guess what's sort of your future vision for this as the economic boom, as it were, starts to slow?
Here you have the classic case study of the conflict between politics and economics. And the conflict, if you like, between ideology and markets. Xi Jinping has sought to reassert political control through the party over, let's call it, diversity of political opinion within the system. But secondly, to reassert party control directly and indirectly over the economy. You see this through the revitalization of state and enterprise policy. You see it in terms of the correctives being issued against the Chinese private sector, the so-called monopoly tech platforms. You've seen it through the articulation of Xi Jinping's new common prosperity agenda, which is an attempt to crack down on widespread income inequality in the country. Those various measures are the product of, in my argument, a Marxist Leninist ideological concern about sustaining the power and position and legitimacy of the party within Chinese politics. However, if you do that, guess what? The animal spirits of the Chinese private sector go, what the hell happened there? Do I any longer have the confidence necessary to roll out another 100 million renminbi into an investment in new plant and equipment for my widget factory next year, or is 50 million of that going to be taken back by the state under common prosperity? Actually, I'll speak to my Aunt Nellie and we will hide it under our mattress instead. Or Uncle Fred, who's got a bank account somewhere in Boston, and we'll find a way of getting it there. Here I'm reflecting back sort of millions of conversations currently underway in the Chinese private sector. In other words, private sector business confidence takes a hit through the sorts of measures I've just referred to. So to go to the core of your question, I think Xi Jinping, by seeking to politically protect the party and advance its political control, and through his desire not to allow the economy and the private sector to become more dominant players than they already are within the Chinese system, he runs a risk of undermining growth. And we've seen this begin to unfold in Chinese growth numbers, not just in the last few months. I've been writing about it for 3 years, and particularly since the 19th Party Congress in 2017, when the beginnings of this ideological course correction on the economy could be first identified. So, if you look at the two attempted backflips on this by the Chinese system in the last 3 months, first at the Central Economic Work Conference in December, where suddenly it was said, common prosperity? What common prosperity? Did I mention common prosperity? It wasn't really serious. It was just, he mentioned it because I didn't. And suddenly it's gone from being an immediate and pressing objective for the system to being an abstract long-term destination for where the party will be when we have the full realization of communism. Second thing that's happened was in the Liu He set of statements, economic corrections of policy direction, particularly on the tech platforms just 2 to 3 weeks ago. So they know they have a problem. Here's the dilemma. Will the private sector believe them again? If you've been once bitten, is it once bitten, twice shy? I'm not sure. And I think this does present a growth conundrum for current policy settings in Beijing.
Great. The lady in the loge, please.
Hi, thank you.